Hi, I'm John,
And I'm Eric.
and we are proud affiliates of the You Run Podcast Network.
Head on over to yourunpodcast.com to check out all of our content, all of our affiliates' content, and so much more.
See y'all there. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another riveting edition of Under the Floorboards, where we laugh at the creatures that go above the night. I'm your host, John, joined as always. Actually, he's not here this week because he has the fucking super flu, and that was a direct quote. Super flu. So, Eric will be back very soon, but until then, we have these amazing ghouls this week, starting off with, and God help me if I butcher this, I meant to ask you before we started, DJ Gyulay?
It's Gyulay. Pretty close.
Damn it. Give it up for Gyulay.
Woo! Woo! Dude, I'm glad now I know how to pronounce your last name.
Yeah, it's Hungarian. It gets botched a lot, but you know, if you Gyulay is good, you know, but you know, it's fine. I don't mind saying it.
It was giving me anxiety all day, and I can't believe that was like the one thing I forgot to actually fucking ask before we got on.
No, you're good.
And of course, give it up for the one and only Angus Benfield. How are you doing this week?
Good. Thank you for having me.
And somebody coming in as a heavyweight this year in the Indie Horror Award Show, half of Simpatico Pictures, Jake Kopronica. Give it up.
Yeah, Jake.
Hey, thanks for having me on, John. My other half is around here somewhere. She's hanging around, so she might make a guest appearance. We'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. So getting into it, you guys have so much going on right now. Is kind of like the typical the way of the indie world. It seems like it's just project after project after project that y'all are getting into. But I want to take a step back for a minute into what came out in 2023, Purgatory Station, which DJ hit me up about. I actually hadn't seen it, guys. It's available to watch on Amazon Prime, as well as I think Vudu and whatever that Fandango thing is now at home. But let's get into that just a little bit. We actually have the lead actor here, Mr. Angus Benfield. Tell us a little bit about your character walking into that.
Yeah, that was he was a pretty horrible person. I guess he was a lawyer who was doing some pretty bad things, and so yeah, he pissed off a lot of people, so therefore they wanted to make his life hell, really. So hence the name of the Purgatory Station. He was basically put in a form of purgatory whilst he watched his loved ones be slowly killed and tortured and burnt alive and all those fun things. So it's a kind of rom-com kind of vibe to it. I thought it was quite funny. But yeah, so but yeah, that's basically who he was. He was not a really nice person. I don't normally play characters like that, so I kind of wanted to do something that was a little bit different. And yeah, and so and because it was obviously self-contained, I thought, oh, this would be easy. We can pull this off. And until everyone got sick, and then
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
But that's probably more details, but in the production side of things. But yeah, he's basically a character who's like he's a lawyer. I mean, you know, a scumbag lawyer, really. I mean, that's no offense to anyone who's a lawyer, but that's who he plays.
He's a criminal lawyer.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
So you're talking about how it's very like kind of contained, and that's a really good word for it because your character is literally in a shipping container the entire time. So I've seen this happen with quite a few performances from different people. Actually, Caitlin Newberry, who all of you know, being one of them. She was also in a film where she's really just in a room by herself the entire time. And something I think that both of you did a really good job of was keeping the audience entertained with your performance. How do you actually do that when really you're playing off of like what's on a screen? Maybe they've even filmed that part yet, right?
Yeah, that's true. So because I was producing it as well, I mean, the original script did go a little bit further out of the container, but I thought it would be good if we can kind of really contain it. Excuse the pun. So we tried to do as much of it in the container, and that was the first 2 days of filming, and so we didn't have anything. We hadn't shot the Bob Gunton scenes. We did them way after we filmed in Orange County. So it was, yeah, literally acting to a blank screen and shooting all the lawyer scenes in 2 days. So it was like 50 pages of dialogue each day. And so I had to be prompted a few times from Jake. Jake, I think you were like in the corner.
Yeah, so basically, like he said, we shot 50 pages a day, 100-page script in 2 days, all Angus's coverage in that shipping container. And I was the person reading everybody else's lines. So I
Yeah,
was the first
yeah.
AD. So I'd be off camera with the script, reading every conversation he had on the phone with his wife, with the firefighter, with Agent Shapiro, who I did voice in the movie. I am the voice of
Yeah.
Agent Shapiro. Um,
I
yeah,
definitely picked up
pop
on that
gun
one.
stuff.
I was like, I noticed those sultry tones anywhere. That's definitely Jake on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very impressive. On top of Angus, obviously you can tell he's Australian, and in the movie he's not. So on top of doing 50 pages of dialogue a day, he was also doing putting on an American accent. So
Yeah.
props to Angus. Very, very cool.
Thanks. So
So
yeah, so it was hard to control whether it was any good or not, but it was literally 2 days. We got to shoot this, and thankfully, it was enough in the script to sort of give it a little bit of color and texture and stuff. And so yeah, and then just you just throw everything at it and hope it works. Hope it sticks.
Jake, your camera's fucking me up, brother. Like,
I saw that.
So DJ, you actually had a really fun role in this as well. Tell us a little bit about what you were doing behind the scenes, but also the character that you got to play in this.
Oh, right, right. Yeah, it was an amazing time. Everyone was great. I got to play executioner, and the scenes that I had were pretty cool. Everyone I worked with was just wonderful.
Was there like a level of act, because I know part of it was CGI, part of it was practical effects. So what was that balance kind of looking like, for 2023 when you're trying to pull off that scene?
Yeah, I think the only CGI was when the fire was going. So when that took place, I lit the match, I said the line, and then they started like shaking lights and all this cool stuff to kind of simulate like a fire. And it was really cool. I like what they did with it too. And yeah, I had fun. I felt bad pouring like the liquid on Tony, but I had to burn him.
So was there anything that kind of happened on, because I know Angus, you're kind of set aside from a lot of the other coverage that was happening outside of, being the producer, you were probably on set, I would think, for some of this. But was there anything that stuck out to you guys when you're trying to pull off some of these effects? And some of them were like really wild, like when they're like getting killed in the parking deck and shit like that. Like, was there anything that was just kind of like wild to y'all to try and pull off?
I think that was really good. The parking lot with the stab in the neck and all that kind of stuff. That was really cool. Yeah, some great practical effects. I'm a big fan of, you know, uh, practical special effects because I mean it's so much fun doing it on set and stuff, and especially when you've got some real scrappy effects guys that kind of get in there and kind of get it done. But I think the stabbing in the neck was really good, and then we did a shot in the head too, with a tube of blood coming out. We're trying to obviously, we didn't have a lot of money, so we're trying to make it look like a bit of a bigger scale kind of thing. So we want any excuse to have some stabbing, shooting, guns, things like that. But yeah, that was some good things. I really like the charred body too, that from after DJ's work. We could have that. I don't know if we see
Derek
much
did
of it in the
amazing
film,
on
but
that.
that looked really cool. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
shout out to
Derek did amazing with that body.
yeah, yeah,
yeah, shout out to Derek Worley. John, you know who we're talking about.
No
yeah. He did it.
surprise.
Did our
Yeah, he was
special
amazing.
effects. That charred body, the charred skeleton that you see a little, we nicknamed him Crispy Boy. So that's Crispy Boy. Yeah, I mean the things that stood out that For the parking garage scene, I remember on that day, they were kind enough to give us permission to film in that parking garage because some businesses and stuff can be finicky about that and try to shut you down. So we got permission to shoot there, and that was awesome. So we were able to pull that off, and it added a little bit more production value having like that full parking garage around us, which was great. Derek also once again killed figuratively, pun not intended, killed the effects in those, the headshot and the knife. Those are great. The I don't know what else really stood out. The film going to LA and Orange County and working with Bob Gunton, who's the warden from Shawshank Redemption, was really, really cool.
Mm.
He's a very nice guy. We
Yeah.
knocked out his coverage in what, like 3 hours, 2 hours?
Mm.
Like it was very, very quick, very
Mm.
professional. He's also in Ace Ventura 2. He's a guy that Jim Carrey tortures by like touching his eyeball. So I was asking him all about that. I'm like, yeah, Shawshank, whatever. Ace Ventura 2. Let's talk about that.
Are you looking for your next podcast obsession? Look no further than Fans of the Dead. Hosted by the mighty Mike Petro. Right along with his hilarious tangents that as he looks back on what makes us all fans of the dead. Fans of the Dead is available on all streaming platforms. And don't forget to check us out on yourunpodcast.com.
Yeah, he's a really lovely guy. He's really cool. Very, very friendly guy. So, but when we first met with him, Ethan, the director, who was also the DP, shout out to Ethan Eagle. So we did a little Zoom call with him, and he turns up on the Zoom call with a Shawshank Prison shirt on. So, yeah, I think his character's still must be in prison.
He came to set with that on. He showed up with like the Shawshank wardrobe on too.
Yeah, maybe he sells them. I don't know. But yeah, no, he was really cool. He's a very cool guy. That was a big highlight too, being able to do that, in spite of COVID and all these other fun restrictions that you're also dealing with. But that was a good little, yeah. And we basically took the team to him because he was in Orange County, and it would be cheaper just do a little skeleton team and go down there, and all his stuff was all just on the video. So there was a method to the madness. We're kind of thinking, well, how do you do a small film? You can get one name actor for a day, even though we shot them all out in a few hours. But yeah, that's sort of how you kind of do it. I mean, you've got to be pretty scrappy doing these little small films, and yeah, so it worked out really well, I think. Yeah.
100%. I think it came out looking great. We're going to talk about Deathwoods here in a minute, but I'm very curious because I had this lined up for Angus actually, and I would love to hear everybody else's opinion on it too, but especially with Angus, since you have been doing this for so long, since you were on a little show called E Street, while I was still in utero, I'm a little curious as to what are the biggest differences that you've seen between sets, being in the 90s to now.
Well, yeah, it's funny. Before I did E Street, and if anyone wants to know what that is, it was just like a TV. I think they were trying to do a Melrose Place ripoff or something like that. I think the original idea in Australia. So it was kind of that sort of thing, and then it kind of spiraled into some weird thing. So but before I did that, my very first acting job was in a film called Lex and Rory. So that was the very first. Before that, I was just a background actor, having horrible experiences that if you ever done background work, it can be pretty horrible, sometimes quite demeaning. And I think that was the thing back when I started, they treated everyone like shit. So it was really horrible. And so anyway, that was my first job. And I actually got the lead within about 4 days before they started filming. It was a really sort of rushed sort of thing. So that was my introduction into independent filmmaking, because it was done by guys who'd never really made a film before. They were shooting in some small kind of hick town in Albury, Wodonga. And it was a really weird, and they didn't know what they were doing, and they had crew that was sort of more experienced than they were, and they were trying to sort of take over, and it was kind of crazy. So I saw that firsthand, and I always thought, well, if they can do it, then maybe anyone can do it. Maybe I can do it. So it's been a weird thing when you see how the industry's changed a lot. It was definitely pre-streaming days was obviously a lot easier. And it is pretty sad right now because, anyone trying to make like you were saying at the beginning, like everyone's doing another film, another film, another film. And really, that's the only way you can kind of do it. You almost have to be like a YouTuber. You have to constantly create content, build up your 1,000 true fans, especially obviously that exists quite strongly in that sort of independent horror world. But yeah, that's the difference now, is that you can't really do those mid-range films as much, and there's no DVDs. The streaming pays very little. But that's the sort of the downside of it is I've seen that it's easier to get movies made, from a low budget point of view, but it's harder to sort of make money from them. It's a lot of saturation out there, and the streaming has kind of killed it. But on the plus side, I feel like this sort of the sort of quality of the environment of being on a shoot is a lot nicer than when I started out. Like in the 90s, it was pretty horrible, and there was always a producer yelling at someone and a director yelling at someone. And I was always I started off as a production runner. So I was like 14 when I was on set, running around, getting coffee, getting beer, cigarettes. That's what my job was. And always getting yelled at and doing something wrong. And it was just a common thing to just abuse people. And it's nice to not see that as much. I think there's more community. People can kind of get together and do it. But yeah, that's the biggest changes, is like financially, it's very difficult, but the accessibility is improved, and it's nicer environment as well.
100%. And Jake and DJ, I feel like for y'all in this era, that those changes are happening so fast. So what does that look like for y'all between each set? I'm sure feels so different. Jake, we'll start with you.
Not necessarily that each set feels different, but the uncertainty of where the industry is going. With the advancements of AI, I mean, even going to the theater right now, like if you go early enough, like Celeste and I do, you'll get like the Nuvi trivia and stuff like that. Or if you go even earlier, you'll get like the local commercials being made. And we were there recently, and I see a commercial for like I don't know. It was not this brand, but like Dupixent or something eczema or whatever. And it's a very simple commercial of just like people talking about their disease, whatever they have, and it was completely AI. Like an actual person that's supposed to be talking about their disease was an AI video. I'm like, you could take a DSLR, you could film that with your phone. Just get somebody and set it up, but you're instead going to prompt the computer to spit out your commercial for you. So that's gonna, in the next 5 years, I think any big major company that wants to save a buck is going to be doing those kinds of things. I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen the big Coca-Cola commercials. Granted, they're using big Coca-Cola semi trucks and animals and stuff like that, and it's basically replacing, animation. But still, that's an animator. That's a team of animators that would have 5 years ago worked for Coca-Cola and made them a commercial, and now they just are It's one person probably just prompting AI over and over again. So, getting into this industry now, I'm 32. I'm newly in this industry, starting my own production company, trying to make movies. I'm like, is this even going to be worth it in 5 years? When are movies even going to exist? Are people going to go to the movies? Are they going to rent movies on streaming? Is it going to be a tier thing where the cheap stuff is AI made and you can watch that and then you can pay a premium for the human content, or whatever. Like it's just everything's changing so quickly that you can't catch up with it. It's like by the time you buy the new camera or buy the new software, there's another one or what, and jobs are getting replaced, and it's just so much uncertainty. It's scary. So I'm glad there are people out there like you guys that still want physical media, want to go to the movies, are interested in talking to the filmmakers that are making these, smaller movies and stuff like that and trying to get the word out. So, thank you, John and Eric, for, being some of the few that are still giving us the support.
Absolutely. DJ, what about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more with Jake on that too. It's really about the people getting it done, and I love that. AI really is all over, and it's even in the music. There's AI bands now, and people are just sitting back, stealing music in a way from other people who are really out there working hard. to get it done. And AI is taking over, but when you have the people that are kind of sticking together and getting the stuff done, I think like that's true love, and it shows in the movies that are being made.
No, 100%. I think that's definitely why we gravitate more towards the indie realm than a lot of the blockbuster stuff. And like plenty of the blockbuster stuff has its place, like Sinners was fabulous last year and stuff like that. But I think there's a lot more heart and storytelling that goes into what you guys are doing. And it still looks good. That's the big thing is that it's still actually, you put a lot of
Thank
time, a
you.
lot of work, a lot of effort, and it still looks really good. And I will say, I agree with a lot of that, Jake. And me personally, I think that you know how they say like fads always come back somehow, and I think that's what's going to happen. I think the younger generation is going to burn out so hard on AI and this brain rot reel flipping and shit like that, and eventually they're going to
Yeah.
want more substance. They're going to want something else. They're going to be like, I need to sit away from the 20,000 things that I just viewed for like 10 minutes, and I think that's where a lot of this is going to start thriving again.
Yeah,
And
things have its up and downs. Yeah, and I hope you're right with that too. Like, kind of make force everybody to come back and really kind of put their all into it,
Mm,
and maybe push out that AI stuff.
mm,
yeah, because I think people genuinely don't want it. I think people want it for like scientific advancements where it's like, if someone's doing like a
Yeah,
culture on a petri dish and now they can just
Mhm.
tell the robot when to actually feed the culture or something like that. That's totally
Yeah,
different than just replacing the face of a human being
mm,
on a screen
right,
is fucking
right,
weird.
yeah.
It's
mm,
weird.
mm.
Um, but
Yeah,
yeah, down with
definitely.
AI. That's all I have to say on that.
Mm,
Um,
Yeah. And
but
give it to the people who are really trying to do it. And it takes a lot of work. For Purgatory Station, that was filmed in Hickory, North Carolina. And it took everybody really coming on out and making that happen. And, I think it's better when it's all real like that.
mm, mm.
100%. And I think that is a fantastic segue into something that has a lot of practical effects and real shit going on in it. So, the very long awaited coming out this year, Deathwoods, guys. Fucking
Yeah.
Deathwood has been on my radar for quite some time. Super excited for this. And I'm, thinking to myself, you know, Derek just going to continue to dominate the awards? It's like it was just 1 year and he just didn't have a movie
He's the
for it.
man. He's the man.
That being said, Joe Castro definitely deserved that. Big shout out to Paternoster and the Mission of Light. That movie's absolutely fucking incredible. Make sure you guys check that out too. But yeah, now that we're getting closer to really pulling Deathwoods together, do y'all want to talk a little bit about what's going on with that?
Yeah, sure. So Deathwoods is in the scoring phase right now. So our composer, Andrew Scott Bell, who scored the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey franchise, is currently working on our score for Deathwoods. So that should be done here shortly. And once that is done, that's basically the icing on the cake. We'll get the score. We'll do the final sound mix. Uh, do any Foley that we're missing. Once we get the score in and see how the levels go with certain scenes and stuff like that, that'll dictate how much more of a sound mix we need to do work on versus just mixing it and doing a stereo, a mono, a 5.1, the whole 9 yards. Um, and I don't know if John, you've been informed of this or not. I'm not going to name any names, but we do have a distribution offer on our table for Deathwoods. We had um, a temp score is what I will call it on there, and we sent out a screener to some companies, and one that's making a lot of buzz right now in the horror scene. They just had a couple good movies hit theaters in the last 6 months or so. They will be distributing it. I can't say whether or not Deathwoods will have a theatrical release, um, but the offer's on the table, and we're negotiating the contract right now. But things will be signed here shortly. The score will come in, and then it's off to the races for Deathwoods. We don't have a release date Yeah, obviously it is a camping slasher movie, so it's going to be a summer slasher probably. Summer of 2026 is what I'm thinking is going to happen. I can't imagine that they'd want to release it any time sooner than that, because I just think it's going to play so well over that time, especially when people can go to the drive-in, because we really want to try to get it in some drive-ins. And we even like catered the movie. The beginning of the movie starts with like our own original "Let's all go to the lobby," that type of stuff. We don't rip that song off at all, but like we have a few ads that come in that are an homage to that sort of stuff. Beware of carbon monoxide, turn off your engine, like that kind of stuff. Um, and like our feature presentation really paying homage to that grindhouse, um, the old drive-in, go to the movies feel. So we really want to get it in drive-ins. We really want to get it in theaters. But yeah, distribution's on the table. It's about to be done. I know it's been a long time coming, but good things take time, right?
100%. And it being Andrew Scott Bell is actually very exciting because he actually just did the Death of Snow White score, which was
Right. Which he won the award for.
very, very deservedly so. I mean, it definitely set the entire tone of that film. The film was great, but like he really like pushed it over the edge, and it's always cool to see where a score can really take something afterwards, as far as like solidifying that entire vibe. Um, but DJ, what was your kind of involvement in Deathwoods? Obviously, no spoilers, but
Yeah, I don't know how much I could say. I was Kenny the cook.
Yeah,
I
Kenny.
think, yeah, I might. I think that I'm good with that, right, Jake?
Yeah, you're fine. He's also an associate producer. He's being humble here.
I was saying I can edit anything out, so don't worry.
Yeah, we have a scene in Deathwoods where our main cast, the campers as you want to call them. It's not a summer camp movie, it's just a bunch of 20 somethings going out for a weekend camping trip. Well, as most horror slasher films have, on their way to the woods, they stop at a nice restaurant where, they run into some people and some things happen that you'll find out about, but that's where you'll catch Kenny the cook.
So Kenny the cook is these people. That's super exciting. Well,
Yeah, it
I'll,
was a great time.
say I definitely won't try and pump y'all for information about it. Definitely check out the Deathwoods page if y'all want to see that on Instagram.
Help me for information. Yeah, Deathwoods underscore movie on Instagram, because Deathwoods movie all one got banned because somebody got upset about us.
which I just like don't understand how or why. Like it's not like anything that y'all I mean like yeah, nothing y'all posted was crazy other than the mask, but the mask is fucking
Yeah,
that is like primo.
thank you. That's made by, I always forget his actual name, but his like artist name that he goes under is Rubber Gorilla. So shout out Rubber Gorilla. Follow him on Instagram. He makes a bunch of masks. It's really awesome. Yeah, so great Deathwoods mask. Yeah, but we had our Instagram was, I think, upwards of like 12 to 1,500 followers. We were
Yeah.
on Instagram for multiple years, had been posting, practical effects, kills, stuff like that for 2 years. Because we had shot the cold open and used that for promo, cut that like little teaser trailer early on for the Indiegogo. And so there was the fake blood, fake gore, that kind of stuff used in the videos, and not until, this in 2025 somebody reported our channel. I don't know if it's AI, because that's what people are telling me, that Instagram Meta, Meta, Facebook, whatever, got this new AI like software that like starts skimming things. And it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I remember getting a notification on my phone. I'm laying in bed and it's like, you've been reported. You have one chance to appeal. And I appealed it, and then literally within 10 seconds, it got rejected and said, you are permanently banned. You cannot get your account back.
That's
Jesus
not right.
Christ.
Just not right.
Right. So we lost all that. We had to start from scratch. I've been kind of pumping the brakes on really posting a lot of stuff on that profile for right now, kind of just waiting until our distribution deal gets secured. and we have a date, and then like, then we can start opening the floodgates and doing more promo and posting and trying to get our following back. I just don't want to jump the gun too soon, and all that jazz. And if you're listening, and if you were a Indiegogo backer on Deathwoods, perks have begun to be shipped out. So we can't ship out everything right now because some of the perks are bundles, and they include physical copies of the movie, like Blu-rays and DVDs and stuff. So if you're somebody who purchased one of those, unfortunately, you do have to wait until the movie is done. Things like posters, T-shirts, signed prints of actors, and things like that. Those things have begun shipping out to people. So yeah, look out and keep an eye on your mailbox.
I would say super stoked for that. I think I got the bundle, so I'll be at the back end of this, but super excited for the Blu-rays. I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
And thank you everybody for continuing to support Deathwoods too. Coming on over to the new page on Instagram and sticking with it. Absolutely. Thank you, everyone.
100%. And there's a lot of talks right now in some of these, creator circles and stuff like that that are really excited for this film. So congratulations on being very close. It's really rad. I know it takes a lot of work, and God, y'all had one hell of a team for that, which shows because we're seeing this literally between here and Purgatory Station, where we're hearing a lot of these same names making a lot of these same cool movies. So it's really nice to see how much it feels like y'all's part of the community is like really banding together to like make awesome shit. And that's so important if you're going to overcome this like bullshit AI mountain, which also,
Absolutely.
if it wasn't for AI and it was a human looking at your page, you probably wouldn't have gotten fucking banned. Like when I really think about it, because they were probably the bot was probably just like death. God.
Yeah, I saw the title of the page, Death. Yep, nope, over. I don't know what, and I don't want to believe that this is the reason, because like the only thing that I could potentially think of would be grounds was, so we had all the fake gore and stuff posted for years, and then John, your quote from,
I remember that day, dude.
yeah, so your quote was, grindhouse fucking glory. And I was stupid and I put that on the image that we posted and didn't blur out fucking or put like asterisks or whatever. So it's like that's the only other thing that I can think of that somebody saw the word, fucking on a post and was like, maybe they had a vendetta against us. I don't know. And we're just like, report that specific image that had that. And that's not your fault, John. That's my fault for not, I'm the one that made the graphic and everything. So that's the only other thing that I can think of that could have been grounds for getting us banned. And it's just like, if it was a human, I could have been like, yeah, I'll take that specific photo down immediately. No problem. We'll
Mm.
redo it later with asterisks and then everything would have been fine. But I tried to take it to the live, like to Congress and like my government, like the state and everything, like emailed as many people as I could trying to get it back. And
Yeah, man, you tried everything for sure.
yeah.
Why must I destroy everything that I love?
Yeah.
But
Well,
for anybody out
you
there
don't know.
listening,
Everyone from that page will want them coming on over to the new one, and it'll take off again, and you can't stop the hater sometimes. You just kind of do what you do and you prove everyone wrong. And yeah, I don't know if it was anything that you guys did, because really, you guys do a lot of good stuff. So, you know, just keep going with it.
yeah, we're gonna try. We're plugging along. It's like you get this close to the finish line, and then it's just like, all right, we need to do this and this and that and that. It's like we've been right there for 6 months, but it's coming.
Yeah.
100%. So make sure you guys are checking out the new Deathwoods movie page. It's going to be an absolute banger. I have no idea. I have no doubt in my mind. There's like this level of excited that Derek gets about like what he gets to do in a film, and I like the top two that I've really seen him be excited for were Meat and fucking Deathwoods. Because it seemed like y'all just kind of like we're just like, all right, we're just gonna do crazy shit in this. So very, very excited to see this. And you have an all-star cast and crew. There's really nothing that's going to disappoint in this film. I have absolutely no doubt. Um, but moving on to a couple personal things for each one of you guys, I'm a little curious about. We're gonna actually start with DJ. So you're a professional skater as well, and you were on a
Yes.
team for Rot Gut Skates, correct?
Yeah, yeah. I'm on two skate teams right now, Rock Gut and Never Skateboards.
So
So those are the two teams I'm skating for. The Never is more like a really close friend of mine, Jason Brott, and my son Brandon's company that they're doing. So I'm kind of like skating for them too. But I also have like Coffin Hardware nails, Slappy, Ultra Slappy Wax, and like a bunch of other people that I skate for and stuff. You want me to
100.
go over some of them?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Was what does it like to a fruit booter like myself? What does it actually mean to be on a skate team?
Well, you just gotta love it. It's something I've done my whole life. I been skating, playing music, and since well, it's gonna make me sound old, but like 1985 was a pretty big year for me, and I really haven't stopped since. So I would say maybe like be active, really want to go and get it. Um, I love like the falling in it and the risk that it takes to execute some of these tricks. So being like devoted to it, having great friends, man, the guys I skate with, like the Shop Ditch Boys and Tampa Rejects, SHMF, all those guys really kind of come together and girls and support each other. So I think having good friends and good family around you keeps you going. So if you really wanted to do it, I think, man, just, let's do it.
Well, I had two surgeries on my ankle over the last year. I don't think I'll be getting on a board
I
anytime
say
soon.
last time I saw you, John, you were on crutches.
Yeah,
So
and I think that was
And you come
post
back
surgery.
stronger though, you heal and, it makes you stronger and really makes you want to get it. Just because you have an injury, you really, you keep moving forward, Injuries are something like you collect along the way.
Yeah, but I can't even run yet. Like I am currently the slowest zebra, and it's horrible.
you don't have to run to skate. Well,
You just got to
I,
be on the
I was
board, brother.
gonna say,
Drop in and you'll get speed.
I'll just stand on it, and you can just push me rose style, and we'll
Hey man, just
make our
come
way
on
down the
out. I
street.
think just coming on out. I mean, you might get pumped and just go for it, really. I think being around it will get you going.
You've also got you're also a musician. I was listening to some of your tracks earlier. It's actually really good writing music. How
Oh,
would you,
thank you.
yeah, how would you describe it
Uh,
for the listeners out there?
I have a few different projects. There's one where I have 8 albums out on, and that's like an ambient meditation. It's like
Doesn't
for
fall too far.
soundscapes and maybe movies or to help people with different things. That's done with my guitar, and I really enjoy that. And then some of the other stuff that I have, I'm with like my son and a couple friends, and we do a couple projects. Are you talking about the one that's out there to listen to on
Yeah,
music
fall too
platforms?
far is what I was listening to.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty older project that I had. When I was younger, I was in a few different bands and I played the drums and I wound up going to guitar and I really liked that. So eventually I kind of stopped playing in bands at a certain point because I was really kind of going strong with the skating. And I was like, you know what? Let's let's maybe do like a solo thing. And I took a jump and it went real well at first. To be honest, like 2, 3 years ago, that Fall into Fall project was really going well. But there's been a lot of now different types of, I don't know if it's AI on top of it again, because we're going to pull up AI again. But it seems like there's a lot of projects doing that music now. So like it's maybe not as big as it once was 3 years ago, but I haven't given up on it. I enjoy trying to do some projects. There's a project that I'm kind of helping write some of the theme music for and some of the music in that. So I'm excited to see where that goes, really, because if if you're doing something and you really love doing it, I would like the people to hear it. So maybe if it could still be heard some way, movies, cartoons, anime, anything really. But yeah, I don't mind it. I like it. Did you enjoy it?
I did. I did. Like I said, I thought it was really good writing music because I'll usually just sit down in front of like writer duet and just throw on like lo-fi or something like that. But I like the soundscape vibe a little bit more.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
So I'll
Yeah,
definitely
and I'm
check it
I'm
out.
very lucky too with that. I'm endorsed by WKM Guitars. That's the guitar back there.
Oh, nice.
And Strings by Aurora. So with the music stuff too, I'm very fortunate. I love everybody that has helped me out and supports me along the way with that. So man, I appreciate it a bunch with you really liking that stuff. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Angus, this has been kind of on my mind since you've blipped up on the screen. I'm fascinated by what you're collecting behind you because I'm seeing a lot of models, but I can't tell if it's like Voltron or Gundam or like what piques your fancy over there.
Well, I got some ventriloquist dummies. So they're really interesting. They come alive every now and then. Yeah, mostly like yeah, I've got some classic like Shogun Warrior kind of things there. Because I used to have them when I was a kid, so I eventually found them again. And then I've got a just mixture of like 1/6 scale kind of figures. I quite like those, and they're all. I don't really collect anything. Like I'm not a real Marvel or a DC or anything like that. These are more like just random kind of characters. And there's Charlie Chaplin, or there's a Big Lebowski guy, or there's a yeah. So some of them are knockoffs from Hong Kong and China, but they're really well made knockoffs. So they're not officially licensed. So you buy them and then they get banned, I think, from the licensing thing. But I got some, yeah, and then I've got the boxes and stuff. So yeah, I just kind of collect, and there's a Bionic Man, like an original thing. So I don't go too vintage because it's just a bad rabbit hole. So, but yeah, kind of like collecting them, being a bit of a nerd, and yeah, and that's pretty much what's in the back
Do you have a holy grail in that collection?
there.
Like just one for yourself?
Like a no, I don't really. I mean the not like probably the Bionic Man one was kind of like something I really always wanted. Maskatron is the one, and I remember seeing it in a toy shop when I was a little kid, and I thought, oh, I really want that, and it disappeared because growing up in Australia, you don't get as much of the cool stuff as you get. Everything was in America, if you grew up here, you'd have everything, and so we'd get like maybe 20% of that that would arrive. So, and I never saw it again. And so that's kind of like I finally found it in fairly mint condition in the box and stuff. But yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Most of them are fairly new things. So yeah, I think the ventriloquist dummies are pretty rare. They have like some of them from the 1920s and 1930s and stuff. So, and I managed to get them from an antique dealer in the UK, and they were getting rid of them. So they're pretty cool. They're a little bit creepy, but
It was the
people don't
only
like.
thing you were blocking the whole time until you turned around.
Yeah, yeah. So there's a few there. They have like this guy. I think he can stand up on his feet and walk around sometimes. But they're for a film I'm doing, so I've got a few. I'm doing a film about a ventriloquist, but it's not a horror film because they're always horror films. I'll try to do something that's not a horror film, which is
just sad.
completely uninterested for you guys because it's always like it's going to be horror. But they've had a bad rap, these guys, for many years. So
Yeah. Because they're fucking creepy.
it's prejudice. You got to
Yeah, I'm
much,
no 100%.
too much discrimination against the dummies.
What made you come to America to act? Was it how bad Vegemite is, or
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Vegemite, so it's okay.
I don't understand who would be.
Well, they have it at like my wife likes Marmite, which is like Vegemite, but it's a little less sharp. It's got like a milder it's still yeast extract, and that's more the British version.
Mm.
But yeah, no, I've been here for almost 8 years, I think. So yeah, obviously I came here because I wanted to make movies and act and stuff, and not a lot of it happens. I mean, you know, Australia does do, and I was living in Australia and New Zealand as well. So there's some production that gets done there, but it's mostly big productions from the US that come and then take advantage of a tax incentive. But if you're trying to do smaller independent films, it's pretty hard because there's a government. Most people go through the government to get financed. So if you're like a true independent filmmaker, it's a bit of an uphill battle. It's hard to get crew. It's hard to find people because they always want to work on the bigger films. So I found it much easier coming here. I just was able to make films. It was a lot easier. Look, I mean, it's great because everybody wants to do it. There's always a sense of there's a lot of enthusiasm and stuff. But yeah, so I mean, I've been trying to get over here for many years, and it was always a dream. It was like pursuing the American Hollywood sort of dream, and it costs about $50,000 in immigration fees, but so it's not a cheap thing.
Mhm.
I finally got my green card, so yeah, it's a big to do it legally. Yeah, it's not easy. So yeah, but I came here with nothing really, and I just started to build it from scratch and made a slate of films over the years, and we're working on our next slate of films now. And but yeah, I just found it's great. It's just so good over here, and yeah, and just love working with it. People are just so enthusiastic, and yeah, it's wonderful. Every time you do a casting of anything, you have thousands of actors wanting to do the job. Heaps of crew always submitting stuff. It's just great. So yeah, except for the usual challenges what we're talking about at the beginning, but other than that, this is the place to make films. I think it's really cool.
So, Jake, first of all, you're having a very big year. Congratulations on your engagement. Very happy for you and Celeste.
Yeah.
So much. Thank you.
And the video that was made was awesome. I was like, I expected nothing else.
Thank you. I'm glad that it ended up working out. Celeste thought it was perfect, so that's all that matters. And she said yes. So I mean that's a big plus too.
That's a big.
I know. So for me, I didn't achieve the vision that I had for it, and it was a whirlwind of a thing. So like I had the idea, since we're filmmakers, to fool her into thinking that she's going to be on set and we're going to be making a movie, and then like while we have cameras and lighting and get a good video of it. Well, our just things kept happening, getting because I wanted to go. Our families are from Ohio. We're in Atlanta, and I wanted to go and obviously ask her dad for his blessing first. And our anniversary was early December, so I was like, all right, I was going to try to go in October and ask him, but then Celeste kind of foiled my plan because she also wanted to go to Ohio, so I didn't know how to get there too without her really knowing. I was like, all right, well, I got Thanksgiving, so I'll ask him for his blessing on Thanksgiving. So I have from Thanksgiving to like early December to kind of like, if he gives it to me, which he did. Thank you, Kevin. Uh,
Big shout
he,
out to Kevin.
yeah, shout out to Kevin. Or I'm sorry, I had that like week or two time to do it. And luckily, our good friends over at Soft Stick Studios, Alberto Garcia, they are currently basically in production for a film called Paint Me a Villain, which Simpatico Pictures is co-producing. Um, and it's kind of a mixed media of a film where some of it's found footage, some of it is shot as like cinematically with cinema cameras, it looks like a movie. Some of it's on iPhones vertically, like it's all mixed formats, which is pretty cool. So I was like, well, I don't have enough time to full on plan a full shoot with big lights, big set, whatever. But we can do this like found footage thing. So I reached out to Alberto and was like, hey man, this is my idea. Is there any way you can reach out to Celeste and I and be like, hey, I just added a scene for your characters because both of us act in the movie as well. And yeah, have a scene where our characters are like going to a premiere of a movie or something, and so we have to dress up and look nice because Celeste wants to get married in a theater, like in an old classy theater with a marquee outside and do an old Hollywood thing. I'm like, well, it'll be on theme if I propose outside of a nice theater or inside of a theater. So there's a theater in Atlanta. I'm not going to name it because I'm going to talk poorly of it here in a minute. And so I told Alberto to, write the scene to be outside of a theater. I ended up writing the scene and sent it to him and had him send it to us. So he reached out, asked us to do a thing, told us we were going to be paid the whole 9 yards. We booked the date and we're dressing up in all the nice stuff. I wore a suit. She wore her nice coat. Of course, it was freezing outside and sleeting, so she's going to put on a big, nice coat. It's like, oh, I hope she's okay with getting proposed to while wearing this coat because I knew she wanted to be like in a nice dress. So he goes to the theater, and I'm not joking you. It's a 10-minute drive from our apartment to the theater. As we're about to walk out the door, Alberto texts me and he's like, "They're kicking us out." Like, because I was like, they in Atlanta, you got to have permits to film anywhere and stuff like that. So I was like, yeah, just go up to the front desk, let them know the reason you have a camera is that your buddy's going to propose outside the theater, or if it's too cold, he's going to do it in the lobby. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that they would shut down a proposal. Like, if we were trying to
Oh
film a
my
short
God.
film or a commercial or whatever, I get it. We need permits. We should have sent it up the chain of command. But a proposal, like, do you guys hate love? Like, what is going on? So he gets kicked out. He texts me that they have to leave. Like he even was like, the parking lot, no, anything to do with the building, because I liked the way like the outside of the building looked. It was pretty and stuff like that. And so I start sweating, like I'm like freaking out because I don't know what to do. I didn't think that I'd have to change locations. So we go into the car. I'm trying to play it cool, letting her. I'm like, Celeste, it's hot in here. I have all these layers on. We got to go outside and cool off because it's like 20 degrees outside. So we get in the car. Thank God the gods were on my side because she asked if we could stop by the mailbox, and I'm like, yes. So she gets out to check the mail, and I call them. I'm like, okay, I'm going to pretend like you just called me, and she gets in, because she thinks we're going to set to go film a movie. So I'm like, babe, they're telling me that they got kicked out. We didn't have permits for the location. And she's like, oh, they didn't get permission. And we're like, yeah, yeah, whatever. We thought it was going to be like a guerrilla filmmaking thing. And I'm like, and they're like, do you guys have any ideas on where we could go? I'm like, well, let me drive around for a second and I'll send you pictures of there's a theater nearby that we might be able to use as a backup. So we start driving around, and I drive by the ice skating rink that's across the street from my apartment and see that it's covered in like these nice Christmas lights that aren't too colorful. It just looks kind of classy. So I send them a picture of that. They know I'm the one calling the shots ultimately. So I'm like, yeah, how does this look for you guys? And they're like, looks good. And I'm like, all right, meet us here. So they show up, and of course, it's Sunday night, 9 o'clock p.m. I assumed the parking lot was going to be empty, but as the world would have it, it's the night that all the 40 and 50-year-old guys get together and drink beers and play hockey at this ice skating rink. So we pull up to the parking lot, and there's like three groups of guys just slamming beers, looking at us like, what are these guys doing? So I'm like, man, somebody's going to ruin this. So we like did the whole thing. Like we shot a scene in the car that was just to fool Celeste. We did like three takes in the car for the first scene. Second scene was walking into the theater for the premiere, and there was a third scene written inside the theater, just also to fool her. The second scene is where I was going to do the proposal. So it was like we'll walk up, do a take, cut, reset, walk up, do a second take, cut, reset, and if Alberto thought it looked good and it was time to go, he was going to say, let's get one more for safety. And that was the cue for me to drop the knee on that one. And of course, like here comes the parade. Guys are coming in and out. And he's like, let's go one more for safety. Traffic, traffic, car, blah, blah. I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like, I can't catch a break. But if you watch the video, that's where the video picks up. Eventually, like the crowd kind of subsided and then we went for it. And the rest is history.
It literally sounds like making a movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're all, yeah, it was making a movie. I mean, but we're mic'd up, which I think is what really helps the video because you can audibly hear Celeste and I talking to each other as we're walking. You can hear every hiccup, every cry, every whatever, you know. So I think that's what kind of really sells the whole thing, and it worked out. So
100%.
Man, big congratulations for
Mm.
sure. You guys definitely deserve each other, man. All the best.
yeah, 6 years. It took me 6 years, but we did it, boys.
Felt that. I think I hit 13 when we proposed. we we bought a house instead, so it's not all.
Hey, I get it. I get that.
But with that big year, you had stuff like The House Among the Trees, the success of Black Canvas, and rolling out the rest of Deathwoods. What is on the next part of the itinerary for Simpatico, other than the wedding, obviously?
Yeah, so wedding, don't know if that's going to be 2026. We're thinking 2027. That way we can get the venue we want. I think we're probably a little late to the game trying to book a venue in 2026. So we'll take the year, plan, get all our ducks in a row, and then it'll probably be a 2027 wedding. House Among the Trees, yep, that premiered obviously in 2025. It's been getting some awesome awards. Um, maybe got the golden floorboard at the under the floorboards indie awards show.
Maybe
Go
so.
to that. Um, thank you again for that. So that one's wrapping up its festival run right now, and we are discussing amongst ourselves on if we really want to try to go for a distributor or if we want to do self-distribution on that one. So that's the discussions being had over on that front. Black Canvas, as of this morning, hit 500,000 views on YouTube. So, in another way of saying it, 500,000. Thank you. So that one's just going to keep riding that wave. Hopefully, it just keeps growing. So you guys are the first to hear about that. We haven't made a post about the 500,000 view benchmark yet, but we're going to be posting about that here shortly. We definitely want to try to adapt Black Canvas into a feature of some kind. I mean, there's obviously something about it that people are liking. It's just figuring out what the feature of that short is. We have some ideas, haven't really landed on one yet, but we're workshopping it. So um, that's coming. Deathwoods, like we have already talked about, that's on the way. And Simpatico Pictures is in development right now on its next feature. It's currently titled Thresholds, and that one we are in negotiation right now with getting greenlit from another company. So another company has come in. They want they want to produce the movie. They've made an offer for a budget, which is the biggest budget I've had to work with thus far. It's double anything that I've been involved with prior, whether that be, I'm not going to name films or numbers or anything, but it's making me sweat because it's money that I had not yet been able to work with, especially because it'll be written and directed by myself, solely me, and it'll be basically my directorial debut on as like a sole director. Derek was a great co-director of mine on Deathwoods, but this will be my first sole directing endeavor as a feature. So really excited about that. We've been having meetings like crazy with that one getting so they really want to add that to their slate for the spring. So once I basically the ball is on my court. They made an offer. I'm asking some questions, getting some advice from other people. So once I give them the thumbs up that we're going to take that deal, they're going to green light it, and then we'll probably be filming in May, is what they want to do. So I've been marinating on this script for 2 years. Well, script is the wrong way to say it. The concept I've been marinating on for 2 years. Finally wrote the script in 2025, and it's been received so well. I mean, I have not done any script competitions or anything like that, but just from my peers who I've sent it to, um, and yeah, it's just had a great response from anybody that's read it. So it's really exciting.
It's awesome.
Oh yeah, that's what you wait to hear is that somebody else wants to produce it.
Right. Yeah, I can't. I mean, it kind of came out of left field. Shout out to Mitchell Cole. If you've heard of a little movie called It Ends that just got picked up by Neon for theatrical release in 2026, he's a lead actor of that movie. He's one of my buddies. Worked with him on his directorial debut titled Against the Spread. It's a crime thriller, kind of like betting movie, getting in debt with some loan sharks type of movie. So it's cool. It was on Apple TV. I think it's on there still. If not, it's on Amazon Tubi, I'm pretty sure. So check out Against the Spread. Anyway, Mitchell is in It Ends, and I had sent him the script, and then after all the buzz happened with the movie It Ends, it was the most talked about movie at South by Southwest this last year. It won Fantasia or Fantastic Fest, which I can't remember, and then gets picked up by Neon. So shout out to It Ends and the team behind that. Great success coming their way. But reached out to Mitchell. I'm like, hey man, congrats on all the stuff. Did you ever get around to reading that script I sent you? He's like, you didn't send it to me. I'm like, oh, my bad. Here's that script. And he read it and he came back and he's like, dude, this script's amazing. Uh, it's in the same kind of vein as It Ends is kind of like young people kind of get into this like Stephen King-esque circumstance that the rest of the movie just rides, like showing like the premise of It Ends is like four college kids get into a car, start driving down the road that never ends. They start turning either way. I haven't seen the movie, but that's like the plot is that they just can't get off this road, and I'm very excited to see it. Um, but same kind of like very simple concept, um, ensemble cast, young 20 somethings for Threshold is kind of the ensemble, except for a car for Threshold, it's a house. So it's one location, bunch of people in a house. They can't leave. I don't want to tell you why they can't leave, but thresholds. And yeah, so he read the script, he thought it was awesome, and then he sent it to somebody who sent it to somebody, and now we have an offer. So
Well, congratulations.
thank you.
Yeah.
It seems that 2026 is going to be a pretty big year. So I can't wait to see more about that.
It's
Um,
starting out to be, yeah.
so DJ, what is 2026 bringing for you, brother?
Just staying active. Have probably more music dropping, plenty of skating, and I'm working on a few projects. So I can't really name those projects yet, but we'll hopefully something good happens. And yeah, just staying active with the skating. Skate some competitions when I can, and really almost every week in between stuff keeps me in shape, and you know, just drop more music too.
Hell yeah.
The same old stuff every year.
Yeah, can't wait to hear it.
Good.
Angus,
Thank
what
you,
about
thank you.
yourself, brother?
Yeah, we've got another film that is probably coming out, The Weight of Darkness. So yes, I think we're in post finishing all that off now, and so I think we should be doing. Yeah, well, actually, sorry, it's past posters now are getting some deals set with distribution for the US and overseas and stuff. So that's kind of like a horror thriller, with Doug Jones and Corbin Burnson and Angus Benfield and Jamie King and myself in that. So yeah, and then I've got another very smaller little horror thriller called The Deprogrammer. That was sort of like one of those self-contained things that we shot in a week. And so that was another thing that's kind of finishing off. So we'll get those two out this year. And then we're just in the process of shooting, about to shoot the next sort of run of Slate films that we're doing. So it's a mixture of genres and everything. We have a drama coming up, was based on a play. And then we have another thriller, which is kind of like a Silence of the Lambs, kind of Seven kind of thing. And yeah, and a couple other things. So yeah, once we kind of get going, we just spent 2025 doing a lot of post-production, finishing off a lot of films, getting a few films out, and then preparing for this next slate. So and one of the things we've had to do is kind of push budgets up a bit and get talent attachments and things like that, sort of playing that game, the packaging and doing tax credits and all that kind of stuff, which I haven't really done before. So, but you sort of have to do it if you want to see any response from sales and all that sort of stuff. So you kind of got to, every filmmaker is going to get to that point where you got to sort of take that big next step. So otherwise it's just very hard to kind of sustain it. I mean, unless you can, and that's good, but that's what we're sort of trying to do. So we'll see how we go. But it's been a 25 year, not 25 years, but 2025 was just a lot of post and prep work for what we should hopefully be doing this year. So, yeah.
100%. So last question for you guys. Eric usually asks this, but currently he has super flu. So, yeah, I imagine that it's like a cell with a cape on it or some shit like that. But, it's Friday night. You're popping in a movie. You're not trying to impress anybody. What goes on your pizza? And DJ, we'll start with you.
Pepperoni and black olive.
All right. Jake, what about you, brother?
I'm a pepperoni guy, but I'm also just a food guy, so I'll eat whatever. Give me a deluxe, give me a, pineapple and Canadian bacon. I'll take
Eric
whatever.
Worley.
I mean, hey, not to, if it's kind of all the craze right now is getting hot honey on your pizza. So if you have a, Marco's nearby, order a pepperoni magnifico with hot honey on it and let your world be rocked.
Angus, what about yourself, brother?
Yeah, I like the pepperoni or the Hawaiian ham pineapple. So it's good too. So yeah. Yeah, well, pizza's pretty good.
All pizza matters. Okay.
Okay, let me give one more shout out here. If nobody's ever been to New Haven, Connecticut, that is the pizza capital of the world. Go to Sally's at Beats, Frank de Pepe's. If you listen to Barstool Sports's, what's his name? Dave Portnoy. Yeah, that guy that does the pizza thing. He's spot on. Like I don't really follow him or watch him, but I heard that he gives these places really great reviews. And we filmed a couple movies over in Connecticut over 2025 or 2024. Deadly Endings, shout out Deadly Endings, and the Fairfield County Four. I was the sound mixer, boom operator. I was the boom operator on Deadly Endings. Fairfield County Four. I was one of the lead actors. So that trailer dropped. Check out Fairfield County Four. Shout out that movie. Joe Bob Briggs is in it. Um, and yeah, I just smashed New Haven style pizza every day while I was there. So that's my answer is Sally's a Pete's, New Haven style.
Yeah. Dan told me, he was like, "You've never had a scallop pizza before?" I was like, "Brother, where do you think I live?"
They're okay, so they're like New Haven, like clam, New England clam chowder pizza stuff. That's good. Yeah, sure, whatever.
I'll
But
eat
just
it.
overall, just like a solid, just cheese or pepperoni pizza from New Haven, Sally's, blows your socks off, man.
So is that the plan for when you get back on set for Shiver?
Oh yeah, I'll be driving 20 hours here in a couple days to go
What?
film a few days in Shiver. I'm the sound mixer on that one, so I'll be doing sound, and I am doing like a one-off little small cameo as Officer Jack. I'm a ski patrol officer.
Nice. Well, on that note, what do you guys have to say to your fans before we get off here? Angus, we'll start with you.
Do I have any fans? I don't.
Well, you're talking to one, so
It's great. Thank you. Without you, we don't have a job. So yeah, no. Thanks for your support. Yeah, keep watching independent films. Absolutely.
DJ, what about yourself, brother?
Thanks for everything, and I love everybody. Thank you.
And Jake?
Yeah, thank you for your support, everybody. Y'all are awesome. Keep supporting indie film. Look out for Deathwoods. Look out for Simpatico Pictures and our upcoming stuff. Look out for Paint Me a Villain, House Among the Trees, Fairfield County 4, The Hoodoos.
Yeah, that looks cool. I'm not gonna lie, that one looks cool.
And shout out Louisiana filmmakers, The Hoodoos. That was fun.
Very nice, very nice. Well, give it up for all of these guys one more time for being on the show. We really appreciate y'all coming on. This is the part where you get to act like there's actually.
I'm thinking, me, really, me? Oh my God.
It was an absolute pleasure having all of you guys on. Make sure you guys check out all those tags below. Follow them on socials. You'll know where to find them, and and watch all of these great movies that we talked about today. Super excited for you guys to check that out. Thank you guys for joining us once again at Under the Floorboards, where it creaks, it cracks, and we laugh with the creatures that go bump of the night. Good night, everybody.